What is going on, everyone? We're going to be talking about Krypton here. This is going to be my first impressions of it, and I did watch the episode about a couple days ago, and I've been going back and forth if I should make a video about it or not. And if you guys know, I'm not a huge Superman fan. I do like Superman, but I'm just not a big fan of Superman. But I was really interested about this origin of his people, about his family, where they came from, how they get to high status as they were. But uh, it really shocks me how they're going about this story because it does start off with Sedge, which is the grandfather of Superman, talking about how it was 200 years that they're before the end of Krypton, and that when he was a boy, he saw his grandfather pretty much get exiled slash executed um, because his grandfather was working on research that was trying to prove there was other beings out there that existed, and Krypton was very naive. They did not want to believe anything like that, and that's pretty much why they executed him slash exiled him out of the city or the town. And when that happens, your whole family becomes unranked. So years pass by, and his family is pretty much still on right. They're living pretty much in the slums. If you would really want to get technical, they're pretty much living in the slums. They gotta pretty much do whatever they have to survive. Zeg, he's pretty much doing fights. He's stealing. He's doing pretty much anything so he can have money for his family and he can survive as well. And they're on rank. So when you're on rank, you can't do shit. You can't really do anything. I mean, you can only do something to a certain extent. You can't the way it kind of looked is that the way it because they were heavily religious in their authority, because if you do not go with their authority, then you were either pretty much exiled or in prison or anything like that, and pretty much one whole name took over. And Zeg, he when he grows up, he does have a friend slash girlfriend slash by Lieta. She is the daughter of a commander, I'm guessing, of their military, and they're keeping it a secret. And Zeg, he helps throughout the story so far. He does help someone not get killed of a terrorist attack, and he somehow does get ranked now because the technically the political leader wants him to marry his daughter, and so their son's going to be like this, and they basically all they have to do is put their blood into a machine, and it says what their son or their daughter will do and what they're going to do. And Zeg don't like this because he wants the opportunity to have free will, and this ain't exactly what free will is in this at this point in time, because his household name does not mean anything. He's supposed to take the name of his soon-to-be wife that he is supposed to marry, and he does not want that. And then he keeps getting um, noticed by a stranger and is from the future, and his name is Edward, and he says that he's from a planet called Earth, and says that his grandson was Sedge's grandson is going to be the greatest superhero that ever lived, and he's pretty much thinking like, okay, this guy's on something, and he just kind of ignores it, and he says, you gotta help, you gotta find Superman. And when that happens, he does give him like a crystal for the fortress. And when that happens, he asks his mother and his family about it, and they're just kind of like, because they know what's going on. But later on, his mother does take him to the fortress because the authorities are after him, and they steal a pretty much like a speeder almost in a way. That's the only way I know how to put it. If you can get any Star Wars fans here, that's the closest thing I can put it, was like a speeder in a way. And they went to the fortress, and she basically explained to her son that that's what her pretty much her father-in-law did. He pretty much kept it in secret about him still studying beings out there that possibly can happen, and that's why he was executed and sent out. And that's what really messed up the family and really brought down their name. So they're going to have to keep it quiet. They're going to have to continue. She says there's a reason why this is happening now. And so they go back to their home. She has to hide her son, and she has to basically put him uh, to show that she was the one that took the speeder, and then she's put on trial. And once that happens, she's basically sentenced to death, and so is his father, because his father tries to help as well, but they do not want to listen. And then in the midst of it, both of his parents get killed by the mother of the one he is seeing, and so he feels very alone, and he feels like he can't trust nobody. And so he basically puts it on his own that that's all he has is revenge, and all he has is to make things right. So when he does that, he literally puts more pressure on himself, and he goes back to the Fortress of Solitude, and he meets the character Edward again. That's for the future, and he basically says, "Why didn't you tell me my family was going to get killed?" He says, "I did not know your folks was going to get killed." And he shows him the cape of Superman, and he goes, "What is that?" He says, "This belongs to your grandson." And he says, "Well, why is it disappearing?" He says, "The longer I'm here, the longer it does that." And he says, "I can only be here for a certain amount of time." And he says, "When the cape finally goes away," he says, "there's nothing." And he says, "There is something coming to Earth, or to this planet, that is wanting to destroy you." And Lord behold, it's Brainiac. And he's basically saying the Conqueror of Conquerors, which, again, if anybody watched the promos, then obviously, yes, you're going to have Brainiac in the show or the series. And honestly, so far, it's a great series. It really shows this, like, up-and-comer of how it wasn't, like, Kal-El was not, like, or the House L was not the best house name of entire Krypton. So I find that really interesting that they're pretty much coming out of literally the sewer, literally the slums, as I use that analogy really heavily, and they're pretty much showing that they had to fight to get their household name back, as well as fight this threat. And I like how they're putting this into the story so far. I like what they're doing. Again, I only watched the first episode, and I think there's another episode I'm going to watch. And once I get more into the series, I'll probably do another review for you guys. But let me know what you guys think about this. If you even watched Krypton, if you have, let me know what your thoughts about. If you haven't, let me know what you think about it anyway. Just let me know, guys. And if this is a little new for my channel, I normally don't do series premiere reviews, but figure out to do something a little different. I hope you guys are enjoying your day as well, and I'll be seeing you on the next one.